Hello, guys, and welcome to Mr. and Let's Talk. Here we dive into the wildest, funniest, and darkest Reddit stories that we can potentially find on the internet. So grab a drink, sit back, and let's get right into today's episode. So, we have one Reddit user who asked the question: what is your crazy and unusual love story? So, let's get right into the first one. Seth, we have a user saying, quit my boring office job and turned down a job from MI5 in London to go to live in Australia after visiting for a few days and loving it there. There was an issue with my visa, which meant it expired 2 hours before I landed and was invalid. I had to fly to another country to get a new one, so I flew to New Zealand, but the backpacking hostel I was going to stay in was overbooked. They offered to put me in an Asian hostel down the block, and I agreed because I just wanted to get my visa and get back to Australia. Well, okay. We just are 1 minute into the video, and I can already tell that guy is going through the so-called the fucking. The fucking means everything just fucks you. So I applied for my visa online as soon as I got to the Asian hostel. While I was there, I met a super hot Japanese girl and instantly fell in love. We tried to communicate, but she couldn't speak English, and I didn't know any Japanese. So the next day, I bought a Japanese phrase book to chat with her. We went hiking to Boris, the beach, the movie theaters, and 3 weeks later, I got my visa and she came back to Australia with me. I got a job selling didgeridos on the Gold Coast after a stint in Brisbane, and she went back to New Zealand after 3 months because she only had a tourist visa. At the end of the year, my boss at the didgeridoo, I'm sorry if I pronounced that incorrectly, place offered to sponsor me for a new work visa, but the Japanese girl was asking me to meet her in Tokyo. So I quit the job and flew to Japan. Damn, what a commitment this man makes. I spent 6 months with this girl in Japan as a tourist and met her mate's father, who was a karate master. He offered to teach me karate, so I got a new visa for that and stayed. Later on, I married the girl, had kids, got a job in a private high school, bought a home in Tokyo, all because I was 2 hours late getting from the UK to Australia. So what do we learn from this, guys? Sometimes we have to go through the fucking so we can meet the love of our life. What a beautiful story. Let's go to the next one. What do we have here? Okay, we have had a massive crush on a boy a grade below me in high school. I have bad anxieties, and also I was a judgmental fuck back then who thought I couldn't possibly like a fat person. Had a dream we were dating, saw dream him shirtless, didn't have any bad feelings regarding his weight, realized I was being a dick, and rethought my whole view of life. He got a girlfriend 2 days after I realized I liked him. Time goes on, his best friend starts dating my best friend. Our social groups merge. He gets another girlfriend and I graduate. Find out over the summer they broke up 4 months into college and I still couldn't get over him. Messaged him and told him I was into him. Found out he was going to the same college as me. It's my first relationship and his longest relationship. We've been together for almost a year, and I've never been so in love and so happy in my life. I felt like the high school crush thing does not usually work out, but I kind of feel like a fanfic protagonist, to be honest. Okay, girl, about the beginning, like that should have shown you from the beginning that don't like judge someone based on the way they look. They are not okay, men are not fat people. We call this the dirty bulk in the gym, okay? They are not fat. They are preparing to cut and get those muscles, okay? We are not calling this McDonald's going. We're not calling that fat people. We're calling us the dirty bulk. Let's get to the next story. I posted a single ad on Craigslist. The ad said everything about me and had a couple pictures. The requirement to answer was that he had to quote Monty Python and Holy Grail or Doctor Who. Of course, Craigslist being Craigslist, I got a ton of creepers all asking me to suck them beep and asking for beep. meaning some photos of that lady who has been reading, who has been, like writing that comment down. Then he answered with an email. His quote was, "Bring out your dad. I'm not dead." From there, we emailed back and forth for what seemed like an hour, and then it switched to chatting in Gmail. Then he called me after he got off work. Then, 3 days later, we met for the first time. 7 years later, my husband and I have been married for 2 years, and I still are very much in love with him. I wouldn't do it any other way. We totally nerd out together, game, and have so much fun. I love you, my husband. You're the one that I've been praying for since I was 22. We've always been there for each other. And guys, that is really a cute story. I gotta say, the best men and the best women are the ones who are nerdy, because no matter how unpopular you are in school anyways, who gives a shit? Because those are the best. Imagine you date someone who's a nerd, but he knows so much and he's so intelligent that at the end of the day he get like ripped at the gym. So you get a ripped nerd who knows his shit. Amazing. Let's go to the next story. I've shared the story before, but I won my ex-wife in a radio contest, sort of. Okay, interesting. I was part of a morning radio show, and we used to do this dating game bit. Just like the old TV show, we'd had 4 contestants, a bachelor and 3 bachelorettes, or vice versa. And this one morning, we had a bachelor in studio and 3 women on the phone. I honestly have never watched this in my entire life, so if one of you guys know what this guy is talking about, which show it could be, write it down in the comments below. We'll find out. The winning couple would get a date, dinner, and tickets to a baseball game, and the women who didn't win were given consolation prizes. Oh, that's actually mean. It's mean. Part of my job was to organize the whole thing, lining up the dates, and making sure the contestants' information was correct. Anyway, after the game was done, I started taking down the information from the contestants, and Bachelorette number 2 seemed really nice. Now the rule in radio is that she sounds hot on the phone. She's not, but we hit it off, and I told her that if she came in to pick up her consolation prize before the end of my shift that morning, she should look up to the studio window, which looked out over the lobby, and waved. A little while later, she came into the lobby, turned and waved. My first thought was, holy shit, she needs a date? I don't want to brag, but my ex was pretty hot. Then I remembered that I already had her number. Ethical considerations went out the window, and I called and asked her out. For at least a few years, she was the love of my life, and I'm really sorry to hear that it's ended. And I don't know the circumstances, but I wish you both the best. And with that said, we will continue with the last story for today. Met girl on the internet. Fell super hard for her right away. She lived in another state. She had just gotten out of a relationship. Oh, red flag girl. I asked her to be my girlfriend. She said she wasn't ready for something long distance. I gave it a little bit of time and then asked again. She said she was now dating someone else. Oh, the classical. Who I later found out was long distance. Oh, classical. But I didn't want to say goodbye, so we continued to talk. Yes, I'm shitty for talking to her while she was dating someone I know. She ended up telling me she didn't want to say goodbye either, because she had fallen very hard for me as well. 5 years later, and we're still in love, although things are a little rocky right now. I'm trying my best to make them better because I don't want to lose her. Fingers are crossed. That is a comment that is 6 years ago, so I crossed those fingers too. And you guys should do something very, very important for me, because, ladies and gentlemen, that's it for today's story. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, don't forget to like the video and subscribe for more. I'll be back with more crazy Reddit stories. See you next time. Bye.